Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our commission meeting. Commissioner Roebuck is going to give a prayer for us this evening and lead us in the pledge.
Lord, our Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight to conduct business for the city of Leesburg, please let us keep in mind that we're here to make decisions for the entire city, and please just give us the wisdom to make the best decisions we can to make Leesburg a great place. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, I'm going to come up to the podium there and ask our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Jerkins, to come up. And Ms. Jerkins, as everybody knows now, she's the celebrity in Leesburg, I think, probably for years to come. And what a great honor it is that you've been awarded recognized as a Teacher of the Year in the state of Florida. And it's an honor to Leesburg, and I think it makes a lot of people proud to know that we have teachers of your caliber here, and that you were recognized with that award. And you're a product of Leesburg High School too,
Yes.
right? And so you went to high school there and stayed around to teach, and I'm sure you'll have more to teach. Have you had any? You haven't had any come back and teach, have you?
Not yet, but I have one right now who's studying to be a high school math teacher.
Okay.
And plans to come back to Leesburg High School.
Yeah.
Clayton McDaniel, I'll even tell you.
That's great. So we have a proclamation here that we for the city I'd like to recognize what you've done, your accomplishment here. So this is from the city of Leesburg. Whereas Ms. Timmy Jerkins, a mathematics teacher at Leesburg High School, and whereas whereas Ms. Tammy Jerkins has been named the 2018 Macy's Florida Department of Education Teacher of the Year, whereas Ms. Tammy Jerkins is a worthy role model, demonstrating a genuine commitment to her students and her community, and whereas the City Commission wishes to recognize the exceptional achievements of Ms. Tammy Jerkins, now therefore I, Robert Bone Jr., Mayor of the City of Leesburg, do hereby extend congratulations of the City Commission and our citizens, and wish Tammy your success as you graciously represent your hometown at the 2018 Macy's Florida Department of Education Teacher of the Year. Thank you. Thank you. And that's Oh yeah, go ahead. Yes, please. Okay.
I just would like to thank you so much for having me tonight. And I just want to share with everyone what has been happening to me for the last 10 days. After being named the Florida Teacher of the Year, this community has reached out to me. I have been given hundreds, literally hundreds of emails, texts, Facebook messages, visits to my home, flowers, gifts. It's just been so incredible to see the love and support that this community has given to me. But you know what? It's not a surprise, because that's what Leesburg does. We rally together to support each other. And when I was being interviewed in Tallahassee for this position, they did find out that I was born in Leesburg and that I'm a graduate of Leesburg High School. They also found out that I'm very proud of my city and proud of my high school. And this seemed to fascinate the Department of Education. They were shocked that someone wanted to go back to their alma mater to teach. Well, it seemed perfectly natural to me, but they were surprised. But you know what? I'm not the only one. There's several alumni that teach at Leesburg High School, and I let the Department of Education know that we would not teach anywhere else. That Leesburg is our home. But I do appreciate your support, especially tonight. But you know what? I appreciate your support all the time, because you support my students. And I know that together we can continue this work, because it does take a community. And we can increase student success, we can close that achievement gap, and we can impact the lives of our students right here in Leesburg. So thank you so much for this honor, and thank you for your continued support of education of our students. I know you care about them just like I do.
Thank you. I'm going to come up and
You want the mayor beside?
you want me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we call it front center in the Navy.
Front center, all right.
appreciate so much. I
So
really
happy
do
for you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
Zenobia
you.
says hello.
Thank you.
So much.
And then we have a proud husband there too. One of the best dentists in town, right? Yeah. I drove past your sign today and congratulating your wife there, so for us there. So congratulations. So happy for Leesburg that you've been recognized and it brings more attention to Leesburg and the school there. So been a lot of good things at the high school this year. So with the sports and the band and doing real well. So thank you very much. All right. Okay, we'll move to our, can anybody else say anything to Ms. Jerkins tonight? Or?
Well, of course, she was my children's teacher, and my daughter is just so proud and so excited. I never knew a kid who wanted to be in calculus and was excited about calculus, but Ms. Jerkins made it exciting for her. And I just want to say, if she went to Florida A&M for her placement test, she scored one of the highest in her math department. So just want to commend you on helping my daughter succeed. So thank you, and we're proud of the fact that you are the state teacher of the year.
Well, I can assure you, she was a delight to have in class.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move to our consent agenda. So are there any items that the commission would like to pull from the consent agenda this evening?
4B1.
4B1. Okay. Any others?
Make a motion to approve all the remaining items, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Roll call.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Mayor Bowman?
Yes. All right, item 4B1.
Introduced and asked to read by title only.
Resol-
We actually
Yes.
approved that. We can get back.
What do we do?
Yeah, before we need to, I failed to mention, we need to pull the MPO resolution.
Oh, we need to pull that one? Pull it
Yeah.
off of the agenda?
Yeah, and let me explain why. The MPO is going through, and you guys were about to vote on everything except the one you pulled.
Well, we already did.
We already did.
Okay,
We can reconsider.
We can, so if we can revisit that, make a motion to not approve that. And I'm sorry I missed out on that. Essentially, with the MPO is going through a bit of a struggle in terms of Sumter County folks and the Lake County folks. And the Sumter County folks have written a letter to the governor requesting that the Lake Sumter MPO be dissolved and that Lake and Sumter counties be placed in the Orlando Metro MPO. They being Sumter County, has also made requests to modify the board of the MPO from, I think we have like 24 members down to 6 or something like that. So they've written a letter to that. I think our initial position was to stay out of the fray up until the point that the Sumter contingent said, dissolve the MPO and put us in the Orlando Metro MPO. That is really not in our best interest. And I think there's significant concern if that would happen, because I think there would be a significant concern for funding. The two smaller counties would get swallowed up essentially by the Orlando metro area, and potentially our road projects, I think, would have a significant negative impact. However, the latest word we've heard is that the two county administrators are meeting to discuss a solution, which would be to change the board makeup to about 11 members. So in the spirit of detente, while that's going on, I thought it best not to issue the resolution and let the two county entities work this out, and if that fails, we can come back with the reso.
So did the county not, because they had done a letter themselves, right, the county?
Sumter County had written a letter that suggested
To change, but didn't Lake County do a letter or?
They
haven't
were
sent it
they were
yet. They
about
haven't sent it. That's what I was tomorrow.
Okay.
they were
All right.
about to send it, and they have rescinded their sending until the meeting tomorrow.
So we'll know a lot more after tomorrow's
All right.
meeting.
So if it remains an issue, we'll agendize it again. But the hope there is to let the two counties work it out and play nice, and hopefully it'll all work out.
So I'd like to make a motion to reconsider
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion and second to reconsider the, what item was that?
4C2.
4C2. And roll call?
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Mayor Bowman?
Yes. And do we need a motion to just table it or pull it?
Yeah, table would be best.
Okay, a
Move
motion,
to table.
Second.
motion and second. Roll call?
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Mayor Bowman?
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, now back to item 4B1. Do we have them? Okay. you read.
Introducing, yes, sir. Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute Amendment 1 to an existing professional design services agreement with CPH Inc. for the West Leesburg Neighborhood Resource Center for an additional amount of $17,000 and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, discussion?
So, I guess I see the cafe area on the plans we approved. I just like a little explanation about what we're getting for the $17,000.
This is what we did was when we went through and did the resource center design, the commission approved the concept of the cafe. And you also subsequently approved the kitchen. We decided to fund the construction of the cafe and then seek grant monies for the kitchen. In so doing, we never paid because there was some uncertainty of whether we were going to do the cafe and the kitchen. So as we move forward, we never designed the cafe as part of the design. So this $17,000 goes for the formal design of the cafe, and then we need to build out. That was your direction. But when that directive was given, we hadn't completed formal review. So by the time when the commission approved this, we moved off into bid land and then never went back and designed the cafe.
I'm sorry, I don't think we ever approved the kitchen.
It's not the kitchen, it's the cafe.
Oh, I understand the cafe, but you just said that the kitchen will come next.
Then I spoke in error. The directive that was given was to build out the cafe.
Right.
And then not to build out the kitchen, but seek grant funding to build out the kitchen. So we do not have a design for the kitchen. The kitchen is planned to be a shell, but the directive was to build the cafe. When this was directed by the commission, we did not have a design or a plan to do a build out on either. The commission approved the build out of the cafe. We moved forward and failed to go back and get the design started for the cafe.
So we don't, I guess, and where I'm confused because I get we approved the cafe, but we've issued a contract
For construction.
which did they not have construction documents to go bid the job?
When we keeping the project moving, we just never, we took the assumption that we weren't going to build out the cafe or the kitchen. So we kept those blank, and so we kept moving. And so at the end, when the commission said to build out the cafe, we never went back to get that design portion started. And if you recall, we were about $200,000 under budget. That's where that money is.
So if we haven't paid to design the cafe, did we put in the budget for the improvement of the cafe?
We have in the budget enough to cover the construction and design of the cafe because we were about $200,000 under budget. Ken, are those numbers about right?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to use that 200 to fund the building of the cafe. So okay.
It just because the cafe is what, maybe 1,500 square feet.
Something like that.
This seems just like a lot of money for the design. I mean, I know I get what we're getting for it. I like the cafe. My concern is not the cafe itself, but that they're taking advantage of us coming back with a change order for this tiny little design.
That's going to be in the realm of about 10%. So if you want us to go back and argue with CPH to get that number down, we can do that. If you want to give me authority up to a certain amount, I think it's going to be hard to get them down off that number, but we can certainly attempt to do that. I don't think that number's completely unreasonable.
There wasn't a lot we were putting in that cafe, what is there? I mean, it's a counter space and maybe a warmer or something like that. I'm with Commissioner Roebuck. I don't quite understand why it would be a $17,000 design project.
So did they give you a breakdown of the 17,000?
Yeah, they did. Do you have that handy, King?
You mean as far as what would be in the facility itself?
Well, no, like
No,
the project manager is $300. It's going to take him 5 hours. It's going to take engineers 7 hours. It's going to be $200 an hour.
Yeah.
I think for me that would be, if you can justify 17,000, should be able to break down and say it's going to take me 22 hours to design it, and I'm just going to need 20 sheets of paper at $50 a sheet, or like they normally do.
Did they not? They didn't give us an itemized. It's not part of the packet.
Yeah.
So Al, I mean, I don't want to penny and dime guy, but can you go back and if we vote to approve, can you go back and double check that to make sure that we're getting a fair shake?
Yes.
Because maybe we're missing
I mean,
something.
it wouldn't be on the agenda if I didn't think we weren't, but
Let me ask
I
this
would
too.
like to see the information though before we vote on it.
okay.
And we don't have the kitchen design. I know we're not building it yet.
We don't have the kitchen design.
If we have to spend $17,000 to design the cafe, can we get more value if we at the same time go ahead and design the kitchen, even though we're not building it, but to have it as part of a design? So maybe it's $22,000 to do the whole thing, and instead of $17,000 to just do the cafe, or
We can go back and negotiate that for you.
that seems like a lot.
Especially because the building's designed. This is only for the stuff going inside the building we've already paid to have designed. If it was to design a cafe from scratch, that would be one thing. But they're just talking about interior finishes.
Just like going to your house and say, I'm taking your bedroom and making an office.
Yeah.
The 3 or 4 walls are already there. I'm just pretty much got to dig a hole and connect the water line, which should already be there with the other construction document.
Okay.
And I don't see, they haven't really even started this project. We had a groundbreaking, right?
No, we have broken
Dirt.
ground.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think putting off 2 weeks on the design of the cafe is going to
I don't think that's going to make or break the project.
it's going to change. They have so much more to do. Because if it was going to stop the project, I'd feel differently.
We've got 2 more weeks.
Okay.
So,
I just moved to table.
Okay.
Second.
motion second to table. Roll call.
Commissioner Roebuck,
Yes.
Commissioner Christian,
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison,
Yes.
Mayor Bowman.
Yes. Okay, public hearings and non-routine items. Item 5A. I'd like to
Introduced has to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending Section 22-182 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Leesburg, Florida by extending the expiration date of Section 22-182 from July 27, 2017 to July 31st, 2020, providing for conflict with other ordinances, providing a savings clause, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
second.
Well, I'll second for discussion, but I think my reason I asked for some information from last meeting about the actual tenants and what we were doing, and that wasn't provided, so that would be only my reason for not aggressively seconding.
Go ahead.
Jim Williams, Finance Director. You asked for options, and that's what I was prepared to give.
Well, actually, I asked for the companies who received the deposits, how long they were in business, and how much were the actual individual tenants who didn't pay. And I didn't get that. It's not in the documentation for us here, so that was what I asked for at the last meeting.
I apologize. I misunderstood your directions there. But there were 9 tenants that were delinquent, and that we've shut down for a total of $8,800, and 5 of them are restaurants and the biggest one was like a little over $2,000. I can get you, I have that information, I can get it to you if you want to table this till the next meeting.
Yeah, if you want, we can table this into the next meeting. And you know, if we have like a temporary stay, I don't think we're going to have any significant changeover over the course of the next 2 weeks, since this does expire at the end of the month.
I request that we table this motion until we get the information we asked for.
Second.
Motion and second to table. Any other discussion?
On the restaurants, because, and I mentioned this before, I'm not opposed to the deposit ordinance. My concern is if we really want to help businesses at the mall, which I think we want to make sure the mall stays viable because of the consequences of it going out would be so bad, is this the best way to do it? And I don't know, the restaurants there, do they use gas at the mall, like an offsite? Or
A couple of them do have gas, yes.
And you know, I'd like to see, and maybe it's in addition to this, some sort of program where we come up with some incentives to try to get businesses there and keep them, as opposed to just a one-time kind of waiver. I don't know what that looks like, and especially to develop the off-site pads. Because if we could develop the off-site pads, I think that would go a long way in helping them all. So I'd like to see this information too, but I still just really want to stress to staff that I want to see a bigger plan for them all.
Do they get impact fee waivers at all, Al?
No, I don't think there's any. No.
And that may be something to help with the pass out front if we could.
But I don't think you impact fees really affect them all, because it's internal.
No, if they put a restaurant on the outside pad, it'd be big.
Pad site would be different, but
Yeah,
you know, the utility deposit is internal to those individual stores,
Right.
so that doesn't affect.
We're talking about up front, the pad, the overall.
Pad site,
fee.
new construction would
Right.
affect, and then there is no impact fee waiver for that.
Can you look at maybe a bigger, like the Commissioner was talking about, a bigger whole mall concept as opposed to just utility deposits? I mean, because what can we do to assist that whole area in growth, especially the mall? I mean, they came to us with 3 or 4, maybe 5 pad sites in front of the mall that nothing's really happened in about a year. And maybe we had a conversation, you know, what's the stall, what's happening for it not to grow and do the thing that they kind of promised when they came at the podium.
Okay.
I know in discussions I've had with them, they've made a lot of effort to attract restaurants there. In fact, even trying to get the ones that are going across the street to come over there as well. So apparently, and I think there may be some transition going on as well at the mall. So, you know, maybe I'd like to hear what that transition's going to involve. I've heard a little bit, but maybe some more. I'm looking at Mike back there. Mike.
Yeah, they haven't formally announced anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, part of it. Okay. All right, so motion is second to the table. Any other discussion? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes. Okay, item 5B.
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg further amending the City of Leesburg retirement plan for general employees adopted pursuant to ordinance number 03-57 as subsequently amended, amending section 27 deferred retirement option plan to add a backdrop, providing for codification, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Discussion. Any comments from the public on this? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
No.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes. Item 5C.
Resolution introduced and be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute and submit the certification of taxable value for fiscal year 2017-18 to the Lake County property appraiser and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Any comments from the public? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Mayor Bone?
Yes. Item 5D.
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute land leases with the Villages Land Company and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Discussion on this? No? Any comments from the public? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Christian?
Yes.
Commissioner Dennison?
Yes.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yes.
Mayor Bone?
Yes. All right, informational reports. We're moving right along tonight, so geared up for tomorrow. Any city attorney items?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
What happened with the Stay and Save and that deal?
They redeemed it.
They redeemed
and
it.
It's gone back to their ownership again.
Okay. Yeah, just on that topic there, the Stay and Save, that grass is really, really high there at the, in the rough. City manager items?
The only item I have is just the standard update on where we're at with the villages. Most of the villages' work in the past 2 weeks has been focused on the grazing and spray lease, which you approved. Next on the agenda, we've also been working on lifting the overlays. If you recall, we had two sale portions for the villages. We had the larger, almost about 1,900 or so acres of the developable property, and then about 450 acres of the non-developable property. And part of the due diligence period was to do three things. On the non-developable property, we have two restrictive covenants. One on there is from St. John's and the other is from FCT. So we've been working to get those transferred. And then the other was just general contact with EPA to start the process of what we need to do to certify the price and get the 75% paid back to EPA.
When does the due diligence period end?
I'm gonna roughly about February. It was
Okay.
9 months, I believe. We approved the contract in May, maybe April. So we're talking first part of the new year.
Okay.
Right now, we still feel comfortable that we'll make that day. So it seems to be moving along. Once we get, I think that the biggest issues that are out of our control is the overlay issues with FCT and those type of things. Then once we get back to talking about infrastructure deals and those type of things, then we're not going to be relying on any other agencies except us or the villages.
All right. Public comments. Comments from the public tonight? Looks like almost it's just all staff and department heads. Oh, yes.
No, he was just waving.
Just waving.
Waving goodbye.
Yeah.
It's his last meeting.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Christian?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Roebuck?
Yeah, so the mall, just so you know, because they brought this up when I met with them, they paid $38,000 in their fire assessment fee, so that's a pretty big hit for them. So I know that's a formula, but it seems excessive. And then I went to the FMEA conference last week. Patrick and Jim were both there as well. The other cities are all having the same issues with pay and their linemen as we are, so we weren't the only one. And there is a big thing coming up which will have to come before the commission, and that's the Vero Beach being sold to Florida Power. This has been like a year-long legal battle, but basically Florida Power is paying off all their debt, but so that will help us long term. I think it's kind of a positive for the city, depending on how you feel about future capacity needs. But we don't really have a whole lot of choice. But So if maybe Al could kind of get something with them together to fill everyone in before that vote comes up, so it's not a surprise. Because if one city turns it down, it shoots the whole deal off. So I just want to make sure everyone's comfortable with it, and I'm sure they do as well. That's
Toward
it.
that regard, I'll put an update on the next agenda and give you highlights of where the Vero situation is.
But that's it.
Commissioner Dennison?
3 things. First, Patrick, when is the last day?
Friday.
Ah, well, thank you very much for all your service. You did an outstanding job for the city, and we will miss you.
Okay.
But good luck in whatever you decide to do.
I'll put my feet up for a while. The feeling is likewise, and it's been a pleasure. I know that you said something in a previous meeting, but I just wanted to let you know this is my last meeting.
This is it. You're serious, you're not going to stay. So I'd throw that out there.
I hear you. Yes, ma'am.
The other 2 things, the community center building, I know we're going to have a workshop on it. I just want all the commissioners to realize that currently the Rotary, the Noontime Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Chamber of Commerce, the Service Above Self, a lot of activities and meals that go on in there. We're not putting a kitchen in that one. So we've got to realize that currently have a caterer there, which we will no longer have. So please think about that. There's a lot of clubs and stuff that utilize that. And the price certainly will not be the same for them if they have to pull from the outside. So just please keep it in mind. The other thing is the partnership.
You
Yes.
might want to have those clubs kind of be vocal, because I think what's happening is the push is coming the other direction. They're not being vocal enough to say, we want a kitchen, so.
All right, we'll get them vocal.
Yeah.
The other thing is the partnership. I know we were discussing more help for them. I still have not seen any numbers or figures or anything else as far as a certified audit, and I would like to see that information before we start giving them more money. You know, if I was still a banker and they came to me for a loan, I certainly would insist on some documentation. So that's it.
Mayor Bowman?
Well, just maybe just to carry on with that a little bit, I'd like to, my thought about the partnership is I'd like to see maybe us change our structure and how we deal with them, instead of it being a more looking at it as a charitable contribution, that we look at it as a service benefit that, you know, that they're providing, and that we contract with the partnership to put on events that the city would like to have. I mean, like the events they're having now, whether it's the market or the movie night or the parades or whatever they may be, and understand that those things have a value to the city, and then that we look at what that value is to the city, and that we consider contracting those services, because I think that sometimes I think we mischaracterize what the money is that we provide to the partnership as a charitable contribution, because it does fall under those civic contributions, but I think they're providing a service for the city as a whole, and maybe the character of it could be looked at a little different. Just to follow up on that, but I want to just again bring up. I had somebody else again. I think it's the same person as before that just brought up the lack of a sidewalk on Center Street. Is it Center Street over by Bank of America?
Yes.
And I know that brings up the roundabout question too, which we won't talk about that. But if there's something if we can take a look at.
And I think we had some issues with putting a sidewalk in there right now associated with the substation. Is that right? We were waiting on some substation work. We've been working with Duke to redo the fencing on there to try to get the substation looking more attractive. And as part of that, we're trying to get the sidewalk in conjunction built with that. So that's the holdup there.
Okay.
And we Duke kind of keeps pushing it back a little bit.
And as another thought, there may be a possibility to connect the trail up a little farther up on Center Street. behind Bank of America or farther, even farther
Okay.
west there, maybe even. So instead of having to go down to 27 to go to Publix, they could, people could traffic through there over to the trail back farther. And that's all I have this evening.
We're done to adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned.